On my blog, I recently answered a bunch of questions about how one balances science and religion. However, there was one question I did not answer. What do you tell Christians who say they take the 7-day creation literally? Now, as it happens, I've already answered this question in another vlog, and my answer was as follows. People who claim to take the Bible literally really don't. Okay, so obviously it isn't exactly that simple. Given the fact that I'm the one who's always saying that we ought to respect people, where would I get off telling them what they do or do not believe? The difference here is that when people say they believe in a literal 7-day creation story, they often have absolutely no idea what they are talking about. And so now, I'm going to show you. What you are about to see is a visual representation of what people are claiming to believe when they say that they believe in the 7-day creation story as presented in the first chapter of Genesis. I also want to make it clear that I'm not mocking the material that they claim to believe. I believe in it too. It's also my Bible. I just don't claim to take it literally, and in this case, that makes all the difference. Alright, so here we go. The translation I am using is the New Revised Standard Version, and the artwork is all my own brilliant creation. Don't you guys feel lucky? Could I get a thought bubble, team? There still isn't anyone there. Okay, day 1. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while a wind from God swept over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. And God said, "Let there be a dome in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." So God made the dome and separated the waters that were under the dome from the waters that were above the dome. And it was so. God called the dome sky. And there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the waters that were gathered together he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth put forth vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees of every kind on earth that bear fruit with the seed in it." And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed of every kind, and trees of every kind bearing fruit with the seed in it. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the dome of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. Let them be lights in the dome of the sky to give light upon the earth." And it was so. God made the 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. God set them in the dome of the sky to give light upon the earth, and to rule the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the 4th day. And God said, "Let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the dome of the sky." And so God created the great sea monsters, and every living creature that moves, of every kind, with which the waters swarm, and every winged bird of every kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth." And there was evening, and there was morning, the 5th day. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures of every kind, cattle and creeping things and wild animals of the earth of every kind." And it was so. God made the wild animals of the earth of every kind, and the cattle of every kind, and everything that creeps upon the ground of every kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness." And I want to make clear, this isn't supposed to be happening in some corner of the universe. This is literally the entire universe. There is no mention of anything else. You have water below, land, the dome, water above. That's it. No one subscribes to this cosmology anymore. If they did, they would claim that everything that ever happened in space was a hoax, because if we actually had sent something into space with this cosmology, it would have bounced off the dome. And then, even supposing it did get through the dome, it would then be traveling not through vacuum, but through water. It occurs to me that now that I've said this, some nerdfighter is going to show me the website of a religious group that believes precisely that. And that saddens me. But regardless, for at least 99% of the people who claim to take 7-day creation literally, this is absolutely not what they think they're saying. but it's what the literal 7-day creation story says. Supposedly, the point of claiming that you are taking the Bible literally is to say that there is no interpretation in what you are doing, that you are just reading the text and reporting the text, which means you are not involved. You're just doing what God tells you. It's a very strong place to argue, but no one actually stands there. Everyone interprets. Now, possibly some 7-day creationist in the comments, or even someone that you show this video to, will say, well, that's obviously supposed to be poetry or metaphor. Yes, and that is your interpretation of the metaphor. And so there's your answer. If you meet someone who claims to believe in 7-day creationism, give them some sort of picture, some variation of what I just showed you, and ask if that's what they think the universe looks like. And if the answer is no, then you're both interpreting. Because once we can admit that everyone is interpreting and that none of us is operating from a place of absolute truth, then we can actually start to have a real conversation. And then maybe the evolution creation thing could actually get somewhere. But, good luck with that. DFTBA.